The top cryptocurrency options for December will be discussed in this episode. We'll examine a VLO chart. Yesterday night, XRP saw a brief surge to about $2.50 before falling again. Is that a sign of bullishness? I've got you covered. Brad Garlinghouse will show us a video to remind us of the direction of XRP. So without further ado, take a seat back, unwind, and let's get started. With a current price of $101,670, Bitcoin has increased by 96% during the last day. With its current price of $3,904, Ethereum is down 44%. With XRP trading at a mean lean of $2.43, USDT and USDC have both lost their dollar pegs, coming in at 99 cents. It's fascinating to see that both stables have lost their pegs. I'm sure this is temporary, but could this be the result of the new MiCA laws in Europe? Additionally, we are aware that Ripple will cease minting 20% of USDC, and we know that the Ripple stablecoin will launch at any moment. I genuinely believe that Ripple and its stablecoin will remove a sizable portion of liquidity from both Tether and USDC when we consider clarity, regulatory clarity, and the fact that the stablecoin has been approved and is about to go live in both Europe and the US. It just makes sense, and I believe that's the simplest way to put it, because people will want to utilize the quickest and least expensive stablecoin available when they're trying to transfer money. New Crypto Gems, December's top investment picks. To be clear, I don't own or purchase any of these, I'm just sharing the news with you. This item was posted this morning on thecryptominute.com. According to Wall Street Pepe, it is already on pre-sale and is already performing remarkably well, reaching over 4 million in just 1 week. Another well-known cryptocurrency, Crypto All-Stars, has raised over $10 million during its pre-sale, which is scheduled to conclude shortly, shattering all previous records. The Best Wallet token, which is immediately behind Wall Street Pepe, did about 3.8 million. Next came Catslap, which has done 25 times since its inception around Thanksgiving, or roughly 3 weeks ago, followed by a 20x, and lastly, Flockers. To be clear, none of these memes are XRP memes, but when you look at the memes on these other chains, you can see that they are doing things correctly and that they are really doing well. We are at a pre-sale, have raised over 5 million, and are eager to see what's happening there. He took crypto and placed it out, saying, "You got a 10x coming on Velo." I've been promoting Velo since it was first coined. Let's take a look at the Velo chart. This is going to be the standard and one of the major winners this cycle, I've been telling everyone. I think Binance will list Velo at some time because, as you know, when an asset gets listed on Binance, it rises even more. We were looking at an upward trajectory on it, 30 to 50x, and it's presently sitting at approximately 2.5 cents, a little above. We did break the 3-cent barrier. Therefore, his initial goals are for this thing to arrive at 28 cents, with the potential for it to rise to 81 and perhaps even to $2. I will begin by examining the chart and then determine my next course of action. However, I filled up on this bad guy when it was about 1 penny, so I wouldn't be angry if we got Velo to 80 cents. XRP brief update. We reached 250 but failed to close above it, even though we needed to close above 250. After that, we would test support at about 260 before tackling the but barrier discomfort, which brings to mind the all-time peak of 2017, at about 270 and 290. It seems like everyone is talking about the big push-up and the big move that is coming up. As you can see, we had both highs and lows, and everyone is urging for the next positive move. The fact that everyone is so bullish makes me anxious because, as you may know, when people are overly optimistic on social media platforms like Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, they all point out that an asset, or any asset, is going to take off and soar to the sky, and everyone begins to place long bets on it. It never ends well. People get liquidated, and the fact that XRP has been hovering around this $2.40 level for a while now without any significant breakout or movement makes me lean toward caution. I hope that the $1.96 region holds up and we don't go down to $1.50. Could we see that one last test of that region? People, we must see action from XRP shortly. There will be another corrective movement on the way down if we continue to consolidate without making any progress. We want this to push up and target $3 to $3.50 so that we can enter price discovery mode and truly set this thing free. Neither you nor I want it. We must witness a breakthrough. We need this thing to start happening within the next week, in my opinion. For the markets to rise, Bitcoin must also make a breakthrough. We must see greater funding. There is also more liquidity coming into these markets. Right now, we're sitting here with around $3.6 trillion floating about. We must push through and beyond $4. That will serve as the impetus for XRP to rise into the $3 level, but I'm telling you, it must happen right away. Brett Garlinghouse is shown here. Here he is, just strolling around the streets. His bodyguard and protection are just standing around. How does it feel to be Brad, I wonder? Even going out in public is impossible without being surrounded by people. He is well known. Let's simply call it that. By now, the man is a celebrity. Many individuals are depending on Ripple's efforts to raise the price of XRP, and let's be absolutely honest about that. What about this? Does anyone recall this clip? Originating at SMBBNS. Chatting with RippleNet about international payments. Brad was on stage with all those big bankers at this point. He had Augustine Carstens as the chairman of the BIS and Christine Lagarde as the head of the IMF at the time. Sitting beside him was the head of Saudi Arabia's monetary administration. He was discussing what Ripple is doing and what they do with XRP while all of the major stakeholders were present. Even the question, what if there is a run on Ripple, was posed to him. He made everything plain. There really can't be a run on Ripple, he says. It is an organization that develops and markets software. He has no idea what a run on Ripple would entail. Asking what would happen if there was a run on Amazon is analogous to that. It isn't feasible. A run on it is not possible. After watching this video, let's go on to the final section and discuss what the US government is going to do. We usually begin cooperating on a fiat-to-fiat basis with banks and other financial institutions. XRapid is the name of the product that lies at the bottom of this image. We utilize XRP to fund real-time liquidity on XRapid. We introduced this product to the market in the fourth quarter of last year, and we saw right away that banks and other financial institutions wanted that kind of product because they wanted to open up new payment channels but didn't want to open up new nostro-vostro relationships and all the associated overhead and friction. The third product, which we call RippleNet, is essentially just an API that enables corporates to make real-time payouts into this network. As many of you are aware, the problem here is that there are multinationals like Uber and Amazon as well as less technically proficient businesses. They have hundreds of engineers working for them who just integrate into global payment networks. To allow those payouts, they are developing custom APIs for payment networks in the Philippines, Indonesia, the Middle East, and other places. We believe that everyone can benefit from increased efficiency if we standardize on an open-source API. We've been lucky, and I should have said right away that I had a great talk with someone before we and gazed at the television. At this time, Ripple had more than 200 users. They now have over twice as many users of Ripple's suite product as they did before this interview. The Holy Grail is known to us. The stepping stones are known to us. You want to simply get them on RippleNet first. Although they don't have to use XRP to tokenize, you want to move them away from SWIFT, the previous financial SIN system, if you want them to start using blockchain and DLT. All you want is for people to start utilizing the new technology. You can get them to start using a digital asset to transfer money after they become accustomed to the new technology. After that, allowing people to keep XRP is the third and last step in the Holy Grail process. And release this, Chad. The systematic usage of the Ripple Rust as payment infrastructure will be authorized by the US government. This implies that the XRP ledger de facto turns into a blockchain that is trusted throughout the financial industry and has been approved by the US. If that occurs, that is enormous. And let's talk about it quickly. In our second video of the day, we'll go into much more detail about this. Rumors are currently circulating that BlackRock is preparing to submit an XRP ETF application. We have seen the so-called bogus XRP ETF that was filed in Delaware earlier this year. We were never informed of the outcome of that. They only said it was a phony, although we are aware that 2 people and 2 types of identification are needed to file an ETF in person. Although the perpetrators were never apprehended, we do know that there are currently roughly 5 XRP ETFs in existence. We are aware of the regulatory clarity of XRP. We are aware that Ripple is planning to release a stablecoin that will use XRP. Additionally, we are aware of BlackRock's strong interest in XRP since, as you may recall from Brad Garlinghouse's interview, BlackRock knows, but I am unable to comment on what BlackRock will say. It's going to be an interesting time, people.